Hello and welcome to G.E.L Comics. My name is Ray Emling, your host.
And I'm Matt Guilford.
You're gonna go with Matt Guilford, not Matty G.
We'll spice it up this week.
It's a little bit different. I like it. Anyway, so our topic for this week, it seems like, we kind of downward spiraled after the Pokemon episode, because now we've done anime, we have a Dragon Ball Z podcast in the works, and today we're going to go right for it and go for Digimon. This is a subject near and dear to our hearts, because if you listen to the anime podcast, you may have heard that we were a wee bit obsessed. And by a wee bit, I mean way too obsessed.
Yeah, like every day coming home from school, I'd turn on the TV and watch Digimon.
Not
And
even
then,
not even just coming
what?
home from school either. It was during school, during recess, pretty much any waking moment. We'd go to each other's houses after school and pretend like we were saving the digital world, and it was a problem.
We all made up our own Digimon and all of their Digivolutions and picked our own crests and stuff. It was
quite
a
epic.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, my Digimon were nowhere near as cool as yours, and they also made no sense. They were like, my Digimon would have been cool if they were all separate Digimon, but their evolutions or Digivolutions did not fit in the slightest.
The only one I remember of yours was it Slimemon? Was it the rookie?
Yeah, that was the rookie Slimemon, and his mega form was a tiger. So,
Yep. Okay.
a
Yep.
blob of slime turned into a tiger. Go figure.
Mine, now that I think about it, mine was like kind of a ripoff of Gabumon's forms. Like, not the first one, but like the ultimate form had pants and was like a fighter, like where Garurumon was and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I always, yeah.
it was cool.
Well, it's alright. I'm okay with it.
You're still regretting it. You want to go back in time and fix it.
Yep.
There's
Don't
times.
put pants on him.
Yeah, put pants on him, please. There's times where I'll be sitting bored and I'll randomly bust out some paper and try and rework everything to fit, and it never really happens.
Like, I mean, you still have all those sketches?
Yeah, well, not all of them, but I mean, like, I try to, like, I remember what everything looks like, so I try to, like, change up the rookie form so that it makes sense with the tiger at the end, but honestly,
Okay.
I love Slimon. I think he's the most unique character out of it, so I might actually, next time I get bored, I might actually try and rework the rest of the forms into some type of slime monster. Because Tigermon was not that
Nice.
cool. He was a humanoid tiger who wore jeans.
Really?
Yeah, well, mostly because I didn't want to hear your guys' crap about drawing a half-naked humanoid tiger, so I put jeans on him.
Like Leomon?
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much like Leomon, except he was a tiger version of Leomon.
Do you have a sword?
He did have a sword, actually. He did. Yeah.
See.
Then there was Powermon, who, looking back now, Powermon was literally the Digimon version of Machoke. He truly was. He was even blue.
Yeah, I remember he had a belt that
Yeah.
you were quite fond of.
He was a wrestler Pokemon who wore the traditional trunks. He was blue, and he had even like the spike crest on the top of his head. He was literally Machoke.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Robomon was pretty cool. I might keep Robomon in there. I don't know.
What's that? Was that champion?
Yeah, Robomon was champion. It went I remember all of them. The rookie was Kiddamon, which was basically it was a fur ball with tails and 4 little tiny legs. It looked like a kitten. Then the training was Phage Sunamon, because we had a buddy who did Phage Koromon, and I couldn't think of a better in training, so I just went with that. Then rookie was Slimemon, champion was Robomon, ultimate was Powermon, and Mega was Tigermon, and they're all crap now. And yours actually made sense. Yours actually all Like you
Mine
did it
all look
right,
super duper similar.
but
Like,
but that was the point. Like they're supposed to be
uh,
Digivolutions.
I guess, but like they're so similar. Like rookie and champion versions were almost exactly the same. One was just bigger than the other one.
I say we reinvent all of this and we redraw them and we post them to the G.E.L Comics Facebook page. And be like, yeah, we
Maybe
did this.
could really spice those guys up a little
We
bit.
we could. We actually should. I'm actually going to probably do this. So if
All right,
yeah,
let me
so all you
know.
podcast fans, go to facebook.com/GEL Comics and be on the lookout. Yeah, shameless
Do it.
plug. That was a seamless transition. So anyway, enough talking about our crazy, stupid, made up Digimon. Let's talk about the actual show and everything. So I believe we briefly talked about this in the anime episode, but how far did you actually get in the Digimon series?
I watched all of season one and season two, both of which I liked quite a bit. And then the third season came around and they changed up. I mean, season two kind of changed up Digi-evolving a little bit, but not something crazy. Like third season, the Tamers were like fusing with their Digimon, and I was,
I remember
this is
that.
too much. This is getting out of hand, and I just didn't care for the characters.
Yeah, they
And
weren't as
the Digimon
interesting.
were pretty cool, honestly. The
Hmm.
Digimon were pretty cool for the most part, but the Tamers were awful, and the whole plot. I mean, all of the plots are ridiculous, but that one was just kind of bland, I guess. Like the Devas and stuff. And
Yeah.
although I do remember one of them, he was a giant pig, just a massive pig with super long hair. He was really funny now that I think about it.
I
But
don't
yeah, I
remember
got
that
I got
one.
about halfway through season three, I think.
I uh I watched season 1, obviously best season ever. Season 2 I watched, although now looking back, I think the only reason I kept watching was because I wanted to see the original characters make a cameo. I
Yeah,
I truly think that's why I kept watching, because honestly, I'm not a big fan of it. And then the third season, I was initially interested in because it was literally what we believed. Like, and we talked about this. We were stupid kids, and growing up, we thought,
yeah,
the Digimon were real. And the whole third season is literally about these three kids who are like Digimon is like a fictional universe in
it's a
their
game.
universe. Yeah, and they're playing the card game, and then they find out it's actually real, and they become
Yeah,
Digimon Digidestined. So for that to be the premise of the third season, that immediately interested me because that's literally like, and we even had three people. It was you, me, and another guy who will remain nameless because I don't know if he wants us to name him on here. But yeah, the three of us were like, that literally was our story, and so that interested me initially. And then, like you said, when it got to the point where they were like fusing together with the Digimon, it got really weird.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially, yeah, especially like the fusion scenes were weird, really weird.
Yeah, they were really weird. We won't get into that, but okay,
No.
so staying on the series for a little bit longer. What was your favorite memory from the series? What do you remember most? Like, what stuck out most to you?
Um, that is a tough question. Probably, if we're talking series, I'd probably say, jeez, I don't even know. I I don't really remember a lot about like the defeat of like Devimon or Myotismon or Piedmon. Um, I just liked, honestly, I liked seeing them digivolve all into their champion forms for the first time. That's probably the best thing that
That was
I
a pretty
could
sweet.
remember.
That was a pretty sweet thing. Um, I don't remember a whole lot of the series, which now that I found out it's on Netflix, I will be going back and watching all of it. But a few things I remember. For some reason, I remember the very first time Gomamon digivolved into his ultimate form. I believe they were in the real world, and it's not Ikakumon. That's his champion form. I can't remember his ultimate form, but it's the one with the
Pseudomon.
Zudomon. Yeah. The very first time he digivolved to Zudomon was in the real world, I believe, and I think also that was the same time Palmon digivolved to Lilymon for the first time.
I think you're right.
Yeah, around the same time. So I remember those for some reason. The two memories that stick out the most to me are Angemon's sacrifice, basically getting deleted to save them all from Devamon, and also when they're in. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. And then you found out for the first time. Not only was it a touching moment, but you find out for the first time what happens that to Digimon when they die, and they don't, essentially they don't die. They just turn back into an egg.
They recycle.
They recycle. They're green. They're very green.
Planet conscious.
And then I think my favorite memory of all time, and it's not going to come to a surprise, in the episodes fighting Piedmon, the very first time that Gabumon and Agumon warp Digivolve to Metal Garurumon and War Greymon. That was just epic for me.
Yeah. War Greymon was nuts.
I loved War Greymon. He was pretty sweet.
He's definitely a lot better than what was it?
Metal Garurumon.
It was Metal Garurumon. Okay.
Yeah. Because there's
that one was pretty lame.
Yeah, there's Gabumon, Garurumon, Were Garurumon, who I always thought should have been the Mega form.
He was really cool.
He was very cool, and he fit. I think they didn't want to make it like complete polar op, or I don't think they wanted to make it fit like perfectly aligned. But I mean, Gabumon and Agumon are literally they're polar opposites. Agumon is a reptile with fire abilities. Gabumon's a mammal with ice abilities, and it would make sense for Garurumon and Greymon. Then the ultimate form should have been Metal Garurumon and Metal Greymon, and then you have Were Garurumon and War Greymon. That to me that fits. But
just the designs that they made though for Were Garurumon and Metal Garurumon were kind of contrary to that. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean it would have made more sense for the two metal forms to be the ultimates, and then War Greymon maybe beef up Were Garurumon a little bit, but I think those two would have fit a lot better. But whatever. I guess I'm not a designer.
Or just get rid of Metal Garurumon because
he wasn't that cool.
Bad.
Yeah, it's true. So moving on from the series now. We'll talk about this briefly. We kind of already talked about the anime. What are your thoughts on the movie?
I really liked the movie. The first time I saw it, I think I watched it 3 or 4 times in a row. But yeah, I like it all the way through, unlike you. I really liked the opening's fine with Kari and Young Tai and Giant Parrotmon.
That was interesting. It was a cool way to look at the past.
And just like the way they animated Agumon in that, he's like huge and just like blasting skyscrapers, and then he goes into an even more giant Greymon.
Yeah.
But the best part of that movie was definitely the virus that is kind of attacking the world, and eventually, I think it does launch a missile, right?
Yeah, and then it ends up just crashing in the water to Bare Naked Ladies, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh man, the soundtrack to that movie was so
intense.
90s.
Yeah, there was a Bare Naked Ladies. I believe Smash Mouth made it on too.
Yep, they did. I would know the songs if I heard them. I heard a cat. Is there a cat in the room?
There are cats in the room. They're joining the podcast. I don't even think I can edit them out. I don't care if they want to be involved, and that's okay.
It's totally fine.
So anyway, yeah, the movie, my thoughts. First part with the Parrotmon, it was a cool little opening bit. The part with the virus is perfection. Just there's nothing about that I would change. Omnimon is amazing. The whole it's so touching when you think that the Digimon die and they end up fighting back. It's just all big. It's just amazing. And the second half, it's a great story. I just really don't like the second season Digidestined. I really don't. And I feel like that same story could have been accomplished with the first season Digidestined. I don't know why they had to go with Davis and them. Didn't need to happen. But yeah, if they would have done it with the first season of Digidestined, I would have liked it so much more. But it was a good story, and I still watch it. It's not like I actually like turn off the movie, but personally, I thought using the second season guys was a bad move.
Uh, yeah, I suppose you're right. It's I don't know. They definitely don't bug me as much though, I think.
I don't know. It's
Um,
it's because I grew like we literally grew up watching the first season, and then they kind of just changed everything.
yeah, I mean, at least the first generation of Digidestin were still there at some capacity, because you do see them. I mean, TK and Kari are two members of that second group.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it is a lot different, especially with like, what are they called? The armor
Yeah,
digivolutions or something.
the Digi Egg.
The eggs, yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Those toys were awesome though. Those
They were.
transforming eggs.
Yes, those are cool. That's actually going to lead me into the next part. What kind of toys did you have growing up? What do you remember?
Um, I I had quite a few of those just like hard plastic
Yeah,
ones.
like almost rubbery.
Um, yep, I played a lot with one of my other friends who had like 50 of them, and we just fight them all and divide them by colors and have a war.
Yeah.
Um, I also had like little bigger, they're a bit bigger, but they had some movable parts like Veemon's champion form. I don't remember what his name is, Vidramon or something. He had
Yeah.
wings. His wings flapped and stuff. I had a little Digimon who was that drill beetle, and his arms would raise and his nose would spin. And then I feel like I had one big one, but I don't remember what it was. I don't know. I mostly had a lot of those smaller, hard plastic
Yeah.
rubber
That was
figures.
always the sucky thing about that is that you never could get like the right size. Like in totally off subject, but WWE their action figures they started selling them now so that not that I still collect them, but I read things because I'm a nerd, but they now have them proportioned. Like before you'd get a Rey Mysterio action figure and a Big Show action figure, and they'd be the same exact size. But now they actually have
Oh,
it
okay.
proportioned so that Big Show is like a lot taller than the Rey Mysterio action figures, and that way you can buy a set and not have that issue where like you're fighting with them and one's really tiny and one's giant. And that's kind of what I wish they would have done with the Digimon ones, because like you said, I had a lot of the hard plastic ones. I had a couple of the moving parts ones. I had like a Submarimon, I remember, and then I don't know. I think I had a movable War Greymon too, but on top of that, I also had
Yeah.
some giant ones. Like I had a giant Omnimon, and what's the rabbit guy that's completely metal? Gargamon or Metal Gargamon?
Oh, wait, no, Gargamon was the one with like the Gatling gun
Yeah,
hands.
it's the mega form of that one because
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
he was
it's like
green.
Rabbitmon, honestly. It's
Yeah,
something like Rabbitmon.
I had a giant one of those, and then I had the Digi or the transforming egg to Raidmon, the Vmon's egg of friendship one. I had
Yeah.
that, and then of course we were talking about this before we started recording, but we had the Digivices that were essentially Tamagotchis, but they were Digivices, so that made it cool.
Yeah, like could you battle? I know you
You
could
could
find
you
new
could battle each
ones.
other's.
Oh, that's right. That yeah, the whole connection thing was like it wasn't new, but it was still novel
And it's pretty
and
sweet.
it worked. But yeah, it was really cool because it would work like a pedometer and like you take steps
Yeah.
and you stumble on eggs and you'd hatch these eggs into different Digimon. You could have a few different ones, right?
Yeah, and I remember if you wanted to find an egg and you didn't want to just clip it on and walk around, you could shake it.
Yeah, I would only shake it. I wouldn't like walk around with that
Well,
thing. I
but I
just
mean, like when we were out at recess, I just clipped mine on, and just me, and the other guy would walk around, and we'd have them clipped on, and it was cool. And I
yeah.
remember Pokemon tried the same thing. That they had the Pokedex, which was cool, and it had like entries and stuff. But this was it was
This was a
essentially
game.
it was a
Yeah.
game. It really was a game, and you could battle your friends and everything, and it was really cool. And I remember I had a red one and a yellow one.
I had the blue one. That
Yeah.
was fun. But shoot, I was gonna say something. I guess forget it.
Yeah. Dude, I would go back and buy one of those too. Those were cool.
Those were cool. I wonder, yeah, I kind of wonder if they still have stuff like that. I'm sure they do for
Sure, you can find it on eBay.
yeah, some old broken ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, like I said, I remember I had the red one and the yellow one. I remember my red one broke, so I had to go out and get a yellow one.
Speaking of toys, did you ever play any of the Digimon World games?
I did not. I never played any of the games.
I think they're all on PlayStation and PlayStation 2. I don't know if you had one of those. But I played them at a friend's house, and those were really cool because you could be your own tamer and you'd like choose vaccine data or virus type, and that would kind of give you your first one. But you could go out and like capture other Digimon that you wanted and evolve or Digivolve them rather, and you'd have like 3-on-3 battles in the wild with other tamers, I think, and it was a really cool little
That
game. I think there's 3 or 4 of them now. I
that's really
think I played the
cool,
second one. Yeah.
but it doesn't make any sense because you did not capture Digimon.
Yeah, I mean, true. It was still cool though.
It was cool.
Just
Oh,
yeah.
dude. So I'm looking up different toys and stuff to see what I had. Do you remember the D terminal?
Vaguely, yes.
It was like that long silver, it was like almost like the size of a 3DS now, and it was silver, and it was pretty much the Digimon version of a Pokedex.
Yes, I
I
remember
had
that,
I
yeah.
had one of those too.
Wow,
Dude, I'll send you this
that's awesome.
website later because I think I had just about all of these toys.
All right. Are you just like browsing?
Well, I looked up the Digivices, and I just so happened to stumble upon this website that has like a bunch of pictures, and I had like almost all of these.
Wow,
So
amazing.
yeah, they're all back home in Illinois, so I have to go home and get them one time.
Should and play with them all the time
Yeah, pretty
at
much.
home.
So, all right. Toys. I really wanted to talk about the toys. I think we should just do a podcast one time of toys that we remember having growing up.
Man,
That would be sweet.
all right. That
That's gonna be a fun
that
one.
could take a little while.
I know,
An
right?
extended podcast.
The card game. Let me know your thoughts on it, and then I'll tell you. I have a very unique thought process on it. But go ahead.
I remember us playing like a simplified version of it. I'm pretty sure it was the wrong way to play. Um, but yeah, I never really played the card game. I definitely collected the cards because I liked looking at them and reading them. I actually still have a few somewhere. Um, but yeah, the cards were really nice, pretty cool. And yeah, we all had our own decks, and we'd kind of just go head to head.
You kind of hit it right on the head, though. We played a simplified version because this is my thought process on it. The Digimon card game was incredibly difficult.
Really, like, do you know the rules, or did you know the rules at one
I
point?
I kind of knew them, but they were just like the rules for Digimon cards were really really difficult. Like they did not. It was like they were trying to capitalize on the fact of the Pokemon trading card game. But first of all, the Digimon card game didn't make any sense because yes, Digimon battled each other and fought, but it wasn't like Pokemon. Like with
No,
Digimon,
yeah,
they were trying to save an entire world and they fought when they had to. Pokemon was different. Having a Pokemon card game makes sense because the whole point of Pokemon was to battle.
yeah,
So
and it
have
wasn't life or death.
Exactly. So having a Pokemon card game made sense. Digimon, it seemed like they just kind of threw out there to essentially
Just to
compete,
compete. Yeah.
but it was very difficult. The cards looked awesome. I'm looking at some old ones here, and I remember. Oh my gosh, I'm flooded back with memories. But it was just hard, and we had to play a simplified version because it was just difficult.
It was really easy though, because they each have three attacks, and each card has what, a vaccine data and virus type attack. And
Yeah,
then what did we do? We like each Digimon has one of those three types, and whatever type the opposite Digimon was, you'd use that attack against them.
yeah.
Which, looking back, doesn't make a lot of sense.
We never made
Because
sense.
you'd think virus against virus would be the least amount of damage, but it didn't turn out that way because the cards weren't set up that way. But that actually worked pretty well.
I just remember we'd always have like those one moments where like we'd have a card in our deck for like a year, and we'd never really consider it that cool, and then it would appear on the show, and then suddenly it was like, oh my gosh, I have that. And then it was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, looking back now, the names were just incredibly difficult as well. Some of them.
Some were like super simple and dumb, but yeah, others were like just got really long and convoluted,
Well, yeah,
or
and then like,
were
yeah,
Japanese,
and then some made
or
sense. Like Seadramon. He's a giant sea dragon. Seadramon. Really easy. Sea
sure.
dragon monster. Pretty easy to remember. There was Crabmon. Pretty easy. But then you got things like Sayakomon, who was a shell. It was literally an oyster.
Yeah, one that comes to mind is pretty simple. Nanimon. I don't know what it means though, but he's just a little dude with sunglasses and a goatee.
Yes.
He's just a head with arms and legs.
I remember that. All right, so we got a couple more minutes here, so to wrap up, uh, who is your favorite of all time Digimon? If you could pick one.
Oh man. Uh, that's. I would say I have a card of this guy. He's a pink, delightful monster. I'm pretty sure he's huge too. Um, X-Tyrannomon.
Yes. Yeah, he
Yes.
was a big, fluffy, pink stuffed animal, essentially,
But he has like uh, inside his mouth is like black, and you can see these two yellow eyes inside.
which is incredibly creepy, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Yeah.
Um, Mine, no surprise, was War Greymon. Uh, like I said, and it wasn't even just because like I know like obviously Agumon is the star Digimon, like everyone's supposed to like him. I honestly did not like Agumon that much. I always thought Gabumon and Tentamon looked a lot cooler than Agumon. Greymon was okay. I was okay with Greymon. But I always preferred Were Garurumon to Metal Greymon. But War Greymon was just. I mean, I kind of talked about it in the anime. He was literally like a giant T Rex meets Wolverine. Like the three claws. I think that's always what did it to me, or did it for me, because I grew up with X-Men the animated series, and Wolverine was my favorite. So right around the same time, Digimon's coming out, and you got this Digimon with three metal claws. Like, to me, that's the Digimon version of Wolverine, and I just always kind of liked him like that. But aside from him, I was a big fan of Leomon too, but that was
Leomon was pretty cool. If I
not
had
as
a
much.
runner-up, since you get a runner-up, I think my runner-up would be Indigomon. Maybe because he's in my brain, but I think he's pretty cool. Just a
Which
giant
one's
muscle crab.
Indigomon?
Um, in the movie, he's like the giant.
Yes,
Who's he? He evolves from one of those puffy little
Terriermon.
rabbits.
Terriermon.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, he's just like a giant. He's kind of like ape-like, almost like a giant gorilla, but maybe has like bunny ears and a big goofy grin.
Yes.
But yeah, he's cool.
I remember that now. Yeah, I remember. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. I remember. Man, I have to send you this website with all the toys and everything because you're gonna have some nostalgia, and I'm gonna try and find Digivices online, and I will buy us 2 and mail them to you.
Both of them? Alright. Thanks,
What?
buddy.
Yeah, well,
I'll
no,
battle myself.
I'll mail one to me. Shut up.
Oh,
Shut up.
if
Well,
only there were net play.
I know, right? We're gonna get them too and be like, wow, this is not as cool as I remembered.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. So for G.E.L Comics, I'm the Digimon Emperor.
And I'm Izzy's adopted parents.
Have a good night, everyone.